Very recently, a massive ban wave against the vast majority of automated hacker bots in TF2, as well as their hosters, has been carried out. And for the most part, casual mode has been rendered effectively bot-free. This is huge. Hell, huge is kind of an understatement. This is the most direct action that has ever been taken against the bots and their hosters. And honestly, it's kind of the best response we could have possibly seen from Valve. No bullshit tweet, no empty promises, just pure, direct action. Was this the direct result of the current Fix TF2 movement? Was this in the works since Save TF2? Did my video specifically showing up next to Moist Critical's face make Valve realize that the TF2 bot situation is pretty crazy right now? I don't know, and I don't care. All I care about are the results. Those results being that TF2 is bot-free, and the bot hosters are absolutely terrified and scattering like cockroaches. Accounts worth hundreds to thousands of dollars have been utterly bricked. Some bot hosters have straight up given up entirely because whatever Valve did is too difficult to crack, and they're so inept that the only reason they were putting bots in TF2 to begin with was because it was as good as undefended. And they're all so fucking paranoid that they believe that someone from Valve has planted themselves inside of their special little Discord server. Which I won't say anything about whether or not that's a valid concern of theirs. Seeing the bot hosters laid bare for just how absolutely pathetic they are in the face of any resistance at all has arguably been more cathartic than seeing casual servers free of aimbots. Even prominent cheaters have been dealt a serious blow. It's just been a great situation. But there's the lingering question in the back of everyone's minds. Will it hold up? And the answer to that question is, we don't know. One ban wave is a good start, and the hourly updates seem to indicate that this is gonna keep going for a while, and the new resources that Valve is putting into anti-bot measures are working for the time being, but Valve has been known to drop the ball as soon as people get complacent. They've kind of earned a reputation for it at this point. And that puts us in a very awkward position right now, because one of the main ideas floating around right now that doesn't really have a solid position that everyone can agree upon is performing a mass boycott against TF2. What I'm going to say on the matter now is just my own personal perspective on the whole boycott situation. It's not reflective of anyone else within or outside of the Fix TF2 movement, it's just my own take. So if you want to use this video as fuel for your shitty fucking drama bait video because high school level drama is more important to you than actually fixing TF2, then you can suck my balls. This is a very precarious situation right now, because what we've just seen from Valve is amazing and exactly what we asked for. Direct action against the bots that the hosters can't keep up with or immediately do something about by just making more bot accounts. On the one hand, that is an action that's deserving of support. We want to give Valve a pat on the back and say, hey, good job guys, thanks for doing what we asked of you. But we also don't really want to be too supportive, lest we forget that we've just spent the past several years in a state of utter neglect, and that's the only reason we've been brought to this point to begin with. Boycotting Valve right at this moment that they've done something about the bots seems pretty awkward, but at the same time, we don't want to give Valve too much leniency, because if we all decide that everything's totally fine right now and spend all our money on summer crates and keys once the update drops, then we look pretty stupid a few weeks after that if the bot hosters manage to break through the new defenses, and Valve's decided that they can just take the money they made off of the case and run with it until the next time we get angry on Twitter. Constant and consistent upkeep is important, but that's another problem in that we can't really see all that much of what Valve is preventing. It's the same reason that the Department of Defense gets so much money. That and also lobbyists. A lack of bots doesn't necessarily mean that the hosters aren't still trying their asses off to break through Valve's defenses. In other words, it doesn't mean that Valve is actively still fighting them off. And it doesn't mean that if they do break through, Valve will be prepared for it. So where the hell does that leave us? If we still boycott Valve for an indefinite amount of time right after they did exactly the thing we asked for, then that just seems like we'll never be satisfied no matter what they do. But if we support them right away, then a boycott as soon as bot activity returns would be pointless since they got the majority of the money they would have made anyway. The reality is that this is a complicated situation, and despite what your own personal stance may be on the matter, especially if you fall into an extreme category, there is no easy, objectively correct answer to it. At least not one that you can possibly know. My personal solution is wait. Be patient. Give it a bit of time after the summer update drops. A few weeks, maybe even a couple of months. You'll still be collecting crates in the background in the meantime that you can unbox later, and if you're that desperate for the new items, you can wait a couple weeks for them to be dirt cheap on a third-party website that doesn't directly fund Valve. The whales will unbox them on their own. The longer you wait to support Valve, the better, because that's the longer that it's clear they'll continue to consistently support the game while fighting off the bots, especially since bot activity jumps up around the time of updates like Halloween and Smithmas. So if you want to wait until after December to feel like it's okay to spend money on the Manco store, that's fantastic. Hell, waiting in the lull between Smithmas and next summer would probably be the best time, since that's when the least amount of work will be being done on TF2, meaning it would be theoretically when the game would be at its most vulnerable. For some people, waiting that long won't feel necessary, and any amount of continued obvious support will be enough of a sign for your own personal boycott that it will or won't be necessary. How long you feel a boycott is necessary for is ultimately up to you as an individual, but I would highly recommend waiting until at least a month after the summer update drops before feeling comfortable spending money inside of TF2 and the community market directly. And that goes for everything TF2, not just the new summer items. The biggest thing is to remain vigilant and not get complacent. We've made that mistake before, and I don't want to make it again. If bot activity returns for any extended period of time, then immediately stop giving Valve your money. Make the message clear. Continued support and upkeep of their anti-bot systems is the only acceptable answer. This is a great first step that Valve has taken, and I'm happy to see the game in a good state again after so many years. But this isn't over yet. But as long as Valve keeps up the good work behind the scenes, it just might be.